You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and the Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. Here we go again. Well, good morning and hello, kids. I'm still new here. Welcome to Season 3 and Episode number 197 of the Daily Beaver Morning Show here on the Crier Media Network. Today, recording day is Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Okay.
Wednesday.
August
Third Monday of the week.
Third Monday of the week. Yes. Wednesday, August 30th. Oh my God. Already end of the month. One more day, of course, 31st day, but you know what I mean. End of the month. 2023. And it is going to be a nice day here at the Beaver Lodge. Maybe a little chance of rain mid-afternoon. Sort of like 40%. So that's maybe it'll hit, maybe it doesn't. But otherwise, a really nice day here. I'm your host, the Eager Beaver, pronouns he, him, he, Mr. Beaver A. And with me, as always, is my dear friend, Mr. Grizzly. And wow, there are a lot of kids already here this morning. Good morning, Kit Elaine, Kit Linda M, Kit Danielle. Hey, it's been so long. Lovely to see you, Kit Ellen, Kit Jillian. You asked me a question, Kit Jillian. I saw it in the chat yesterday. I wanted to answer you. And oh, yes. Yes, my beaver sweetie did go to a sleep clinic, so thanks for asking. Yes. Let's see, who else do we have here? Kit Jen, hello, darling. All right, and all the other kits to join us. Good morning to you. Of course, a big thank you goes to our podcast founding sponsors, the Peppermaster, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, and CanadianTarot.com. We have a Wednesday morning nibble for you, but first, good morning to you, Mr. Grizzly. I know we had a little chat before we started, but it's almost not your mental health I need to ask about today.
Yeah, I'm a little allergic and stuffed up today. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. Probably see it in my face, too. I'm a little swollen, and yeah, it's ragweed season, and it's kicking my butt. It's just how it goes sometimes. I do want to give a shout out to my friend Janet in the chat, because I haven't seen Janet in a while, but Janet is a dear friend of mine. She was a roommate of mine for a little bit a couple years back.
Neat.
Anyway, what's up, Janet? How you doing? Good to see you.
Damn it.
Thanks for joining.
Janet.
Appreciate it. Oh, could you send me my spare keys? If you could send my key, that would be great. My girlfriend broke the one I have for my building. 12 years in this place, and somehow my girlfriend used the key once and broke it. Yeah, we're still laughing about it because it's funny.
I
It's funny.
I think that's just a thing that happens in relationships. The number of things of mine that my beaver sweetie, again, I love him. I love him.
Mhm.
Broke. Oh wow, you have this. This is really cool. Oops. It's like, oh my
Smashing
god.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
Ah man. All right, all right. Well, we have.
Yeah. Thanks, Janet. Appreciate that.
I was thinking that I'll make a trip to return it. Oh man. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. There we go. Kid MK got it. Yes. Oh, Brad. I
What's
said
that from?
while we were talking, you may have missed it at one point, but I said, "Damn it, Janet." Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, sorry.
So
I saw the
every time I
I saw the movie. So the only I've only watched that film once, and I watched it when it was released on video. So that would have been what, 1990,
uh-huh,
1988.
uh-huh.
I haven't seen it since.
Okay. I for me because there's only 5 years in age, but depending when you were born, right, that matters. So for
Mm.
that Rocky Horror Picture Show, me it was getting the flyer for the Mayfair Theater because it would be there. It would play regularly,
Yeah,
or
regularly. Yeah,
sometimes at the Bytown. And I always wondered what it was because it's like you saw the lips, and like at that
all the
age,
time.
right,
Yeah,
the only thing I associated with lips was the Rolling Stones,
yeah.
right,
And
logo,
it was not the
and
Rolling
it's not the
Stones.
Rolling Stones, and and then I knew of Rocky, the
Yeah, yeah,
movie,
yeah.
and it's like it's a horror show about
Yeah.
Rocky, the
No, no.
right,
Yeah, right there with you on that. It was all puzzling to me. You'd see the lips goes into the Rolling Stones Rocky Horror. What?
right,
Rocky?
right,
What? I don't know what this is about.
nothing at
Yeah,
all, right,
yeah,
and then you grow up, you like this, and you read stuff like they're bringing toast and people dress up. Like,
yeah.
what the hell's going on to that thing? And then like it comes back every year and certain like so when I finally got to see it, okay, it's a cult movie for a reason. It's bad. It is
Yeah.
so
Although
bad, but it's so bad
it's
it's good,
well, that
right?
and it actually has talented actors
Oh
in it,
yeah,
whereas The Room is just bad.
I know.
It's just bad.
But be the best thing in a bad show. Rule number one, if you're in a bad show, be the best thing in it. There's a lot of people that have won a Tony by being the best thing in a show that only ran for 20 performances and then went down. So they were the best thing in it.
Well, have you seen The Room?
The Room?
The Room.
Oh, that movie.
Yeah.
No, I have not, but I've heard about it. That's legendarily bad.
I've seen it 4 times, only in theater because you can only see it in theater. And it's one of those films where if you go to see it, you have to see it in the theater. It is the worst film ever made. And the first time I saw it, I'm like, "Wow, this movie's terrible." But at least that one guy's a decent actor. Then you go back to see it a second time, and you realize, "Oh no, he's the best of the worst, but he's terrible also." The movie is so bad. It's so bad. You can't get over how bad it is and how terrible the acting is and the writing. It's just so brutal that every time you go to see it, and you have to see it more than once, every time you go to see it, there's just new bad stuff to discover. I've seen it 4 times in theater, and I actually met the stars of the film once. They were there for a showing,
Oh, that's so cool.
and, I mean, they're in on a joke
No, I
now, but
know
they
that's what I
certainly
mean.
weren't at the
Oh,
time.
they weren't at the time.
Exactly,
Okay. Cool.
exactly, Tim. "You're tearing me apart, Lisa." Um, there's 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 just it's just a bizarre film. You have to see it. It'll make you laugh. It may make you cry with laughter because it's so horribly bad. And don't sit in the first 5 rows because you're gonna get hit in the head with a spoon. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Okay. Like hold that thought for 1 second. Kid Danielle, thank you so much for your congratulations. And yeah, get some rest. All right. Okay.
Mm.
Um, oh, yeah. 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 The other movie like that for me is Jawbreaker
Jawbreaker.
with Rose McGowan and, oh,
I
forget
know
it.
the film. I can't. I can't. I know the
It has
title,
Marilyn
but I
Manson
can't
in
think
it
of it.
a
Yeah, I
little
can't.
bit.
I can't even.
But anyway, it's sort of like this weird Heather's take, I
Mm-hmm.
guess.
Mm-hmm.
But how can I put it? I don't know if it was written this way to be campy specifically, but it's like, what's your name? Violet. Live it, learn it, love it. It's just it is terrible, but it
Yeah,
is so bad. It is good. I love it. I just love it, but it is terrible.
I understand.
You
Oh,
got
I
content.
I
Ooh,
get you.
Jawbreaker was a stink fest.
Yes.
Danielle, that was a great trash film. Yes. Yes, exactly. Trash films. Exactly. I think that's why I loved it. I related.
Well,
Nah. I just I I like irreverent stuff, so I'm just watching this. But the entire time I was in the theater watching this, I'm like, am I the only one here thinking that this is terrible? And then I'm going like, am I the only one that's loving how terrible this is? So, I mean, I'm the kind of person who lives for the awkward moment, so you know.
he had an awkward moment once, just to see what it would feel like. He is the most interesting man in the world.
Oh
He
man.
speaks French in Russian. That's the greatest ad campaign in history,
I
if you
love
ask me.
that was really good. Oh my god.
Well, the best
Uh
part of it is the actor who plays this obviously Hispanic gentleman who looks like a young Fidel Castro when they show him as a younger man. He's not Hispanic at all.
no.
No, he's Jewish and he's from Brooklyn.
Are you kidding?
No, no, that's
Oh.
acting, my friend.
Mwah.
That's acting. Because everybody thought he was some, gentleman from I don't know Spain or the Caribbean,
I thought he
Caribbean.
was
I don't
like this
know.
telenovela guy or something that they
Yeah,
brought in
maybe
from
a
somewhere
Mexican
else.
gentleman or some. No, 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 no. He's at Goldstein, I think is his surname. I think it's is it Jonathan Goldstein? I could be incorrect. I probably am, but it's along those lines. I watched an interview with him, and he's like, "Yeah, I get a case of." Part of his contract was he gets a case of beer. Uh, is it every week? Yeah, every week while the campaign was on, and then after the campaign ended, he gets a case of beer every month for the rest of his life.
Wow.
I don't always drink
Sir.
beer, but when I do, I prefer. I'm not going to say the name of the product because they're not sponsoring us, but I still think that's the greatest ad campaign in history.
Standing ovation. You had me fooled.
That's acting, right? That's good
That's
acting.
not fooled, convinced.
Convinced, yes,
Because it's not fooling, it's acting.
that's right.
Like this, you know that that's not real.
Hmm.
Oh wow. Okay. There is lots of stuff going on. Um,
Oh,
oh my god. It's almost all international though, but it's just oof.
well, I do
And then
have one clip you might find interesting.
yeah, sure.
Let me just pull it up. It's 2 minutes and 10 seconds. It's from CPAC actually, and guess who's in the clip?
Well,
Oh, you wanna see smarmy? You wanna see Hypocritical smarmy, you want to see an obnoxious a-hole first thing in the morning? I've got that thing for you, my friends.
Serve me up a side of arsehole.
Here we go.
Her again.
Voting. Yeah. Here we go. Okay.
The federal government is seriously considering options to build a brand new official residence for the Prime Minister. What do you think of this move, and what would you do with a residence if you become Prime Minister?
Well, I think that this will be, of my list of priorities, this will probably be the last. We don't need a new home for the Prime Minister. We need.
Okay. What a hypocritical a-hole. He lives in Stornoway, a 24-room mansion where he spends $7,000 a month on water. 34-room mansion, thank you. $7,000 a month on water. Number one. Number two, he has no say in what happens with 24 Sussex Drive. That's an NCC property. The Prime Minister has nothing to do with it. So he's being an a-hole right off the hop, and he's lying immediately.
Need a new home for working class Canadians. Yeah.
A guy who lives in a 34-room mansion is telling us about new home for working class.
Prime Minister has had one mansion where his food is cooked, another mansion where he lives, a third mansion on a lake.
Again, none of those are owned by the Prime Minister. Those are all NCC properties.
And that wasn't enough for him, so he built a second lakefront mansion with.
No, he did not, you lying piece of shit.
Our money at Harrington Lake. He's been so focused on building mansions for himself that he's forgotten to get homes built for hardworking Canadians. My focus is on housing Canadians, not housing the Prime Minister. Thank you.
Hi, Katie Newman for CBC News. So as the leader of the opposition, you are currently living in a taxpayer-funded home. So what should the accommodations for the Prime Minister be?
I think they should be reasonable and practical to provide for the ability to receive dignitaries, but beyond that, and most important of all, to have security. I think we have a lot of other public places where we can welcome people for receptions and other events that we don't need a residence that does that, like, for example, they have in the White House. Canada's parliamentary precinct has a whole series of special halls that...
Okay, this hypocritical a-hole is ignoring the fact that he is the only opposition leader on planet Earth that has an official residence paid for by the taxpayers that is a 34-room mansion.
When he's secure, which are already built and are perfectly respectable.
Go ahead, sir.
When he's talking about practical, right? The size,
yeah.
Practical enough to do that, but nothing. 34 room on how many acres?
Yeah. And people wonder why I get so incensed when this little shit opens his mouth. This is why.
But here's the thing, right?
Let's listen to the...
Okay.
There's 13 more seconds of this.
Yeah.
So I think it should just be a very basic, secure place where a Prime Minister can live safely at a reasonable cost to taxpayers.
What the bloody hell? He's already living in a cottage.
Now, here's the thing. One, he's not offering any one of those 34 rooms up to people who need.
Nope.
No. Two, he's not offering to give up his taxpayer-funded home, while at the same time, let's not forget that they already own properties, some of them that are being rented to MPs who are paying it off using taxpayer dollars because they get an allowance.
Okay. Yeah, because Michael
and
Cooper.
So he has where he's
he owns.
Yes.
Oh no, it's his wife owns the house.
Yes,
that Michael Cooper
the government
owns.
indirectly through that business deal is paying for it, and where he's living now at Stornoway is paid for. He says a small basic place to house the Prime Minister that's secure where you can receive some dignitaries, while he is currently in a 34 room mansion. No leader of an opposition entertains so many dignitaries at once that they need 34 rooms. A Prime Minister, however, might. So, again, why not, well, gee, in the best interest of the nation, I'll move out of Stornoway Prime Minister, and why don't you use the Leader of the Opposition's house as the Prime Minister's house for now, given that this is where, no, right? None of this is coming, right? So PP is, what was that Dingwall expression again? Oh, entitled to his entitlements.
Yeah, entitled to his entitlements. And remember when Candy Bergen moved in there and cost us $30,000 for what, 6 months? 6 months she lives there?
Yeah. Entitled to his entitlements, not offering to give up the space. And, well, if there's no need to really house the Prime Minister and make sure, well, then there's really no need to do it for the Leader of the Opposition either now, is there?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, merely the Leader of the Opposition.
Why is he living in that house then? If he's so much for the people, or as he always says, the common people, which, by the way, for those of you who are unaware, the statement common people, that's a UK thing and not a Canadian thing, number one. And number two, slap in the face, a backhanded slap in the face. Common people means those of us who are less than working class, who are basically shit poor. That's what he's referring to when he says common people. Common people is a UK statement. It is not a Canadian thing. So this guy keeps changing the verbiage using his what did he put it in when he sat there with that arsehole Jordan Peterson, that little incel king. I'm using Anglo-Saxon terms. The dog whistles. I'm sorry. I need to take a breather here. I'm going to freak out in a minute, and I don't want to do that.
Okay. So yeah, of course, it is nobody's priority to build a residence for the Prime Minister. Nobody's running around going, "Oh my God, if there's everything, like stop everything and build a residence for the Prime Minister." But we do have a prime ministerial residence, and the one that exists now has been allowed to go to pot. It is plagued by mold. It is plagued by rodents. Plans to renovate the building have never been approved. Number one, because every time we talk about it, somebody does this. But number two, due to high security costs. Michael Warnick, who is the former top civil servant, says, "My understanding of it is that there's no way to make that site safe at a reasonable cost. It's too close to the road and too close to the river. It's been sitting empty since 2015. Security expert says it comes too close to comfort for security now that things have changed in the way that, the world is these days.
Visits from literally what you need to do is, you need to build a residence on the grounds of the Governor General, because that can be well
unfortunately
secured. Right?
The reason for the other reason is constitutionally, some experts are saying it's unacceptable that the Prime Minister remains on the grounds of Rideau Hall longer than absolutely necessary, given the distinct roles played by the Prime Minister and the Governor General. Now, of course, this is symbolism and whatnot, but the Prime Minister should not be living on the property of the head of state.
No.
right? So, and this place has been allowed to go into disrepair because at the time it would have been to do something, which was the time that Stephen Harper was there.
And NCC insisted he not move in, by the way.
Yes.
They insisted he not move into 24
He was
Sussex
entitled to
because
his
it needs
entitlements.
so much work. Exactly.
So he did. So now they need to put it someplace else. The traffic downtown Ottawa is nonstop. It comes way too close for comfort for superior security experts. The building is sandwiched between the Ottawa River and Sussex Drive. And if you want to oversee security there at the perimeter, I mean, you got water on one side.
Yeah.
It's
high up on a hill, but still.
right.
It's a security nightmare.
Yep. And with, like I said, the increasing security threats that the Prime Minister specifically has seen, the Minister of Finance,
Oh yeah.
Deputy Prime Minister, it's the location is no longer appropriate. And this is RCMP. This is, they've determined that. Now there are some properties that have been assessed in Rockcliffe Park that is way more secure. And it looks like this Prime Minister has determined that, well, I mean, no, I guess not. I guess it somehow has to be approved somehow in a budget. I don't know how it gets. I know it's NCC and they have their own budget, but I know we all know, especially us in Ottawa, know that the government can interfere in the NCC because one of the reasons our light rail in Ottawa was delayed by about 10 years is because John Baird, who was a minister from Ottawa, went in and somehow kiboshed the project. Yeah. And at the time, the City of London and the City of Ottawa at the same time had light rail projects going on. So you had two cities in Ontario trying to modernize, and one was given a leg up.
And it wasn't us. Canada's capital was not given the leg up. It was given the leg. Well, it was given the leg up, actually. It was, when you think about it. It was a dog urinating on a tree when it lifts its leg. Yes. That's the only leg up it got.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, John.
Yeah, thanks.
Now, on the other hand, 10 years later, and the equipment still didn't get better. So, yeah, great job, too.
Yeah. The LRT, right now they're running single trains, one car. I'm like, so what? The idea behind a train is to have multiple cars to move multiple people. They're like, well, we can only move one car at a time because the current situation. So buses on rails. Great. Wonderful. Thank you for that.
I
know that was not John Baird's fault.
I still cannot believe that there is nobody that the City of Ottawa could sue for having been sold such a shit product. Reimburse us everything and put in a good one now.
Well, you know that the REM in Montreal, you know what the REM in Montreal is. It's the same. They're the same trains.
Yeah.
They're the same trains. And it broke down the first day.
Yeah.
The first day.
Yes. Seriously, man. The same thing with Phoenix. You were sold a shit product. Sue.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Phoenix, I know I have some insider information on that. The guy who said, yes, go ahead and make it work and do it. We're going to go for it. After everyone told him not to do it, he said, it's my word. I'm the final word. He's been to the pub, and a buddy of mine said, that was the guy right there. And I went, oh. He goes, yeah, his name is Mud in this town. Nobody will hire him. Well, he is unemployable. Unemployable. I mean, my buddy whom you've met, who works in counterterrorism, one of his coworkers was getting his annual pay every 2 weeks. For 3 years, his annual salary every 2 weeks for 3 years, with no taxes taken off, like the full amount.
Oh,
So he's like, I don't know what to do about this. He consulted with an accountant, and an accountant said, okay, open up a separate account. We're gonna calculate what your tax deduction should be, and just throw the rest of it into that account. He says, and do not touch it. He goes, I'm paranoid. He goes, don't touch it, because they are going to come asking for it eventually. He goes, so just keep it there in that account. He goes, you could even put it into a savings account that pays interest, not a TFSA, but a savings account that pays interest, because you can get interest paying accounts that are non-TFSA. They don't pay much, but if you're putting $94,000 in every 2 weeks, it might add up over the course of 3 years.
You would think somewhere along the 3 years, like the bank would say, like, sir, we don't know anybody who makes that much money. All of a sudden, like, what? Like,
Yeah.
we're just gonna.
Yeah, exactly.
Something wrong with this account. Let me just see what's going on. No. You want to take out $20? Yeah, sure. Red flag.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Immediately the bank would report, we think somebody might be dealing drugs here. I'm like, somebody's dealing drugs and doing $94,000 every 2 weeks. I mean, they might be smart enough to not put it into a regular account here in Canada. They launder it, offshore it. But here's the thing: this poor bugger eventually got a massive tax bill and was able to go, here you go. I'm keeping the interest. Right?
Yeah. It's like, oh, I put it all in GICs.
It's locked in for 5 years. Can't help you.
Oh, man. Wow.
So I'm a dum-dum, and I was telling my mom about this recently. This is completely off topic, but sort of right in the things with money. First time I was on one of my online accounts, just go, would you like a GIC? And I go, sure. And I thought, I'll just open it with $50 and I'll throw $50 in every 2 weeks. And they're like, no, that's not how a GIC works. You buy it for $500 or $1,000 and that's it. And it just accrues interest over time. I'm like, huh? What? I can't put money in? No. So it's locked in for like 6 years.
Oh,
$50. I'm like, I thought it was like an RSP where I could put money in every 2 weeks. They're like, no, you just purchase it.
That was the
it will pay
TFSA you were
interest.
looking for.
Yeah. So I've got a GIC that's worth $57 or something like that.
Woo! Trip around the block.
So they're like, what do you want to do when it matures? Just reinvest it. Who cares? It's 50. I don't even give a damn. It's $50. I spent more than that on lunch with colleagues, like.
All right. Some sports news. John Herdman, who is the former coach of the Canadian national women's team, coached them to 2 Olympic bronze medals, and more recently of the men's national team, getting them to qualify for the World Cup, is leaving national soccer to go and coach Toronto
really?
FC.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
They must have backed the truck up to his door, because I know he was pretty much committed to the men's national team. He really wanted to stay there, but I guess the offer was too good.
Must have been. But when he left the women's team but hadn't yet announced he was going to the men's team, everybody was assuming, okay, he's going to do his professional. And then he took on the men's team and everybody went, wow. But you know what? It's like, this is a huge loss for the national teams, but this man has put in his time. I have no problem with him going out to get his dime.
No,
You've earned it,
not
buddy.
at all. I mean,
but
he has.
You have become a national treasure, sir.
Yep. Well, and his kids were all born in Canada too, right? So, I mean, that's how long he's been here for, so good on you, brother.
Honorary citizenship, please. Just give whatever this man wants, give it to him. Yeah. There's a couple people like that. Clara Hughes is like that for me too. I wouldn't be surprised if she winds up Governor General one day.
Well, I mean, she's done, not only was up until very recently, she was the most decorated Olympian in Canadian history, but because she won medals in winter and summer games. But but she's also a great humanitarian. And yeah, she's been doing a lot for mental health for a long time. She was the spokesperson for that Let's Talk campaign from a company whose name we shall not speak.
But at its origin, like
At
initially,
its origin.
when it was a good idea that, but maybe didn't.
It got
ultimately.
people talking, though.
Yeah.
So let's ignore the company and its actual message, but and look at what it's done
Yep.
for mental health in this country.
Yep.
When it started, it was great, but now it's kind of like, oh, shut up. We're not talking to you. We're talking to each other.
Well, yes. Well, yeah, because the corporate behavior didn't follow.
Well, I mean, what was the example of we're telling everybody to talk. We took $122 million in COVID subsidies and then fired hundreds of people the next day. Thanks.
Yeah.
Got to get my bonus somehow.
Yep. Also in soccer news, Luis Rubiales, who grabbed the
I don't know who
head
that is.
of Spanish forward
that
Jenny
fellow,
Hermoso and planted a kiss directly on her lips after the World Cup win. Well, he says she consented to the kiss. She says, absolutely not. There is no effing way I consented to that kiss. And of course, the clear sign that she consented to that kiss is Rubiales issuing a video statement the day after admitting he made a mistake. What, you made a mistake in kissing her? You made a mistake in saying that she consented to the kiss when she definitely did not? Which one exactly? Or just one? Seems like there was a series of mistakes there, sir. This for some reason, but it has become a thing. Has become such a thing that even the UN got involved. Like a spokesperson from the UN actually made a comment. There is a critical issue of sexism that remains in sports, and we hope that the Spanish authorities and the Spanish government deal with this in a manner that respects the rights of all female athletes. FIFA has suspended Rubiales for 90 days. He's refused calls to resign his position as the head of Soccer Spain, I guess. Suspended for 90 days by FIFA with a disciplinary proceeding launched. And every member of the Spanish women's team, including the coaches, say they will not play or coach or anything until he is permanently gone.
Yeah,
so now you have to remember that during the competition, right, they all had an issue with their coach. This is the president of the Spanish Soccer Federation. So clearly there is a culture in this organization.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Kind of like Hockey Canada.
Yeah, kind of. So the coach, too, is... they want him gone, too. The Deputy Prime Minister of Spain, who is a woman, said, we believe there needs to be a serious overhaul of the sporting bodies in our country. So it seems that this is not a situation that is unique to us in Canada. It seems to be the culture of sporting bodies around the world. There's a lot of people that are might be a little too well fed.
You think?
And maybe a little too overconfident in knowing where their next meals were coming from for the next decade or so. That might be getting a wake-up call.
Well, I think that wake-up call is long overdue, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I think this culture needs to be killed.
Yeah.
Murder it. Kill it with fire. Because it just keeps getting backed up. Look, I am not a fan of the patriarchy. I am well aware of the fact that I do benefit from it, but I don't like it, so I don't take the benefits that are offered to me by it. Because I have a conscience and a heart and a soul, and I can't knowingly accept the things that are handed to me because of it. I hate it. It's wrong. It's the same as the white privilege that I get for being this. I don't like it. I hate it. I hate that I'm given an opportunity that somebody else is not given simply because of this. It's wrong in every way, shape, and form, and I can't abide by that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I can't. It's disgusting to me that by the mere random act of me being born in this body, that I am placed above others in society. It ain't right.
Yep. Yep. You have a Kit Ladam saying some of the Spanish men say that they won't play either. Yes, brothers.
I heard that.
Kit Saucy going, Hermosa will be a hero in the future. She's a hero now. Look how the patriarchy immediately attack her and say she lied. Even with it being on camera, they accuse the woman of lying. Yep.
We saw it.
Yep. Kit Ellen burn the patriarchy. Kit PNC bio. I've heard FIFA may be a bit crooked.
When the Olympics are accused of being corrupt, FIFA's in the background going, "Oh, that's nothing. Let me show you how to do it. That's nothing."
Sit down, Junior. Let Papa show you how it's done. So, yeah. Now, of course, there are hundreds of protesters who took to the streets in Madrid to demand Rubiales' resignation. And, of course, because someone has to take the other side, and in this case, it's his mother, she has started a hunger strike inside a church to protest what she calls her son's inhumane treatment, backed by a dozen people. And Rubiales was met with lots of applause in certain places.
That's what a mother would do. Although my mother wouldn't. And here's why. My mother would be like, you misbehaved. You got to pay the piper for your crimes.
Yep. Prosecutors with Spain's High Court have launched an investigation into the incident to determine if it's a case of sexual aggression. And the Spanish Soccer Federation has convened an emergency meeting to discuss what to do next. So, grease up the slip and slide.
Yep. Well, I have something I don't know. I don't know if you saw this. This is interesting from Global Affairs Canada, or GAC. GAC, Global Affairs Canada. Issues an LGBTQ2S plus travel advisory for the United States.
Yes.
Canada is warning members of the community that they may face discrimination if they travel into some places in the U.S.
Yes.
They didn't specify which states, but it's like, oh, that's good. They're in great company. Places such as Libya and Iran. Way to go, America. Way to go. Talk about a backslide.
Yeah. Really, eh? Jeez. Today is I lost.
This is interesting. See this quote from Rubiales also used his wife and daughters as shields by saying, I can't be sexist. I have daughters.
Come on, man. Variations on the I have a black friend.
Yes.
No.
Exactly.
No, yes, you can be sexist. Yes, there are plenty of sexist husbands. Yes, sir.
There are millions of them, literally millions of them.
Oh, my Lord. Oh, my God. Jeez. Today is the eve of International Overdose Awareness Day. And
I was not aware of that being a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. And British Columbia Chief Coroner Lisa Lapointe says the province is on pace to record the greatest number of toxic drug deaths in a year ever. Data released by BC's Coroner Services show that for the first 7 months of this year, there are already 1,455 deaths, with 198 people dying in July alone.
Wow.
So that's picking up speed. The BC Coroner Service is because if you divide 1,455 by 7, that's less than 198. So that's picking up speed. The BC Coroner Services numbers for the last 2 years indicate more than 6 people every day have died as a result of toxic drug supply. Even with a decriminalization pilot project and safe supply, the numbers keep going up. LaPointe says what's missing is a comprehensive plan for treating people and more data about what's working and what's not. She's quoted as saying, "We need a range of options for folks, treatment when and where people need it. That's evidence-based, and of course, access to safe supply, access to opioids therapies." Advocates are pushing to make safe supply more available to increase awareness programs programs for young kids. There's a mother in Kelowna named Helen Jennings who has lost not one but 2 sons to drug overdoses. And she says both died alone and indoors. He's quoted, "I just don't understand how our government can stomach the number of losses that our country is sustaining, particularly here in BC." I believe, I'm not sure if it's out yet or if he's recorded it, but I think Kit James has an interview with Guy Felicella, who is a man, I believe, out in BC, if I remember correctly, who was an addict. He's in recovery. He's been in recovery for a while, and who has now become an advocate for safe injection sites because he says these places basically resurrected me, Lord knows how many times or whatnot. And, eventually I did get clean. So, when everybody says these things don't work, he's the proof that it works. And he's, again, standing up and doing the democracy thing, putting his body in it, in the way, and raising his voice and saying, that's not exactly true. So if Kit James is here, I know I saw him in the chat earlier. So if you're still here, if the interview is out, let us know, please. But if it is, but do watch for it and see if it's there. It really, really, really was worth your time. And this guy's Twitter feed, Guy Felicella. If this is an issue that interests you, he's a definite recommended follow.
Okay.
Follow, and we hope to have to be able to find a guest. I was going to reach out to him, but I guess James got to him first. Doesn't mean we can't talk to him as well. But I've been gathering notes on that kind of stuff, and I'm hoping to get an expert of some kind here, or somebody with some lived experience to come and talk to us about it, or even both. So that we can talk about it, because there's a lot of myths around safe supply and.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Dr. Lee Chapman lost her brother to these issues. It's why she became the Chief Nursing Officer of Canada, and she's a supporter of those sites as well. There you go. Thank you, Kit Dan. Mr. Grizzly, do we have a show?
We do indeed. We were kind of all over the map today.
Yeah.
But, sometimes that's just how it rolls, right? I mean, here we are on a third Monday of the week, and we're doing what we can do to try and inform you and more importantly, keep your hackles up so you can go out and inform everybody you know, to let them know that there are elements within the government of this country that lie to you daily, and lie to you so blatantly that it's easily proven that they're lies. I'm like, I exasperated all the time.
Well,
all the time.
Speaking of that, when talking about lies, remember the government of New Brunswick with their letters about Policy 713? I've been in touch with Gail Costello, who's the lady from Pride. Oh God, I can't remember the organization. Sorry, but the former teacher, I believe, or current teacher, who's standing up and advocating and leading the charge against Policy 713. She says that there's some particular stuff that she's working on, and that she might have some new news at some time Friday. So hopefully we'll be able to get her in either pre-record or live next week for an interview, because it's back to school, and 3 other provinces have decided that this is a bad idea, that they can't resist following. So it'd be a
Yeah.
good time. We've been
They
hoping to get her on since
Ontario
May.
hasn't said they're following it, but Lecce certainly used the verbiage.
Oh yeah. So we've been trying to get her on since May, and so it looks like it might be happening soon. So we hope to have that for you, and I know that you're working on one as well, Mr. Grizzly.
Yes. Yeah.
So, Kits, that's the end of this podcast, of this episode of the Daily Beaver podcast. We hope that you love listening to us because we love making this for you. Remember that sharing is caring and word of mouth is priceless. Let your peeps and poops know all about us because democracy is something that you do. Let's see today. Well, of course, always the Red Cross and always write some letters. And you know what? Again, I think, other than that, take a rest day.
Yeah. It's middle of the week.
You've
Take
been
a rest.
doing a lot lately, and there's going to be a lot to come. So a little lull. However, if I would be interested in if you have had a democracy is something you do moment at some point in your life, or if you're doing one right now,
let us know.
Send us something at our email address, right? Which is truenortheagerbeaver@gmail.com, and let us know because we'd like to read those on the air. All right. And say where you're from as well, please. Where you are from in the country in your messages.
In the world.
Or in the world. Yes, if you're listening from somewhere else, it doesn't have to be in Canada.
Democracy is something you do globally.
Right. So just write us and let us know, and then keep them coming. All right, and or if you have plans to do something for the upcoming elections, either federally or provincially, if you're in Manitoba or if you're up in the Northwest Territories, because they have provincial and territorial elections coming up this year, let us know. All right. Okay, because we love to hear from you. So reach us on our Facebook at True North Eager Beaver, our Twitter feed at True Eager, or by email at truenortheagerbeaver@gmail.com. If you like this podcast, you can find us on the Crier Media Network, as well as all Beaver Grizzly friendly platforms. Stars and reviews are much appreciated. Please be generous. Just make them rain down on us. And if you wish to subscribe to our podcast so that you do not miss an episode at all, then that little squiggly that's appeared right under my chin is, well, it leads you to the pod page sponsored by the Ray Girl, for which we are very, very, very grateful.
Yes.
So, yes. So you go there, podpage.com/the True North Eager Beaver, lowercase letters with a hyphen between each one of those words. And that way you do not miss a single thing when we have it ready for you. And for those who are listening on audio, if you go to our YouTube site, you can catch our podcast. We were releasing them on audio at one point, but it's a long thing to cut and edit.
It's too much. Yeah. It's too much.
So those are web exclusives. So if you and our pubcat chat, so that is because we try to build community, we want to show people that we're not only about politics. So about once a month we get together and we just show different sides.
No doom and gloom. No doom and gloom during the pubcast. Pubcast is just Saturday afternoon in the pub talking about life.
Yep.
No doom and gloom.
It's just an opportunity to get to know us in a different side of us, so that when we come back here, you kind of know where we're coming from, right? Where our heart is, where our soul is, where our mind is. So it adds that context, and plus, makes the chat with the Damn Fam here even better. Thank you to Crier Media sponsors Yup Beer.
I had a couple of those last night. They were I had the Pilsner, really good.
Okay,
like really good. And they're $2 a can, by the way, so they're not even expensive. That for the Pilsner, if the light beer is actually $1.80 a can.
Ooh,
yeah, it's even the light beer because so it's light in price as well.
There you go. Thank
you, darling.
So if you are at our True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated YouTube site to check out our podcast, then while you're there, why not make like Kit Elaine and smash some buttons? We've got 3 of them for you. We have the like, share, and subscribe. That the more we get subscribers, when we hit 1,000, we get to monetize it a bit, which will then help us, produce even better content for you. We hope. We can't promise, but we hope. We hope we'll get better. We can't do this without your kind and generous support. So if you feel that we've done a particularly good show, good shows this month, you've been entertained, you've been informed, you've laughed a bit, you've got to let the steam off the rage.
Mhm.
A little bit so that you don't explode. If we're able to help in any way, then if you scan the QR code by Mr. Grizzly's head there, that will lead you to the Beaver Lodge Emergency Hydration Fund, where you can help us keep our staff really happy.
That would be me. That would be me.
Keep the staff happy. So so if you're watching, there you go. There's the squiggly. And if you're listening, it's ko-fi.com /eagerbeaver. And that is where you go to make your donation, as have some very wonderful kits. Kit Wishful Son sent us something with just a little keep up the good work. So thank you. And Kit Andy S., a new contributor, said, keep up the great work, Mr. Beaver and Mr. Grizzly. Recently discovered your podcast, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
Awesome.
Well, welcome to the Beaver Lodge, Kit Andy. Pull up a log. Make yourself comfy. We're glad you're here. And thank you. Thank you for your generosity. We really appreciate that. So if you'd like to make your donation as well, that's where you go. And of course, we're very, very grateful. Yes, Kit Jen, moist. Yes, keep us moist. All right.
Well,
Kids,
I have something.
from
I
the
have
Beaver
something I
Lodge.
have to share with you very quickly. I have something to share with you
Before the
very
words of
quickly.
wisdom.
And
Okay.
yes, just
Right.
before the words of wisdom. And I'm going to
Okay.
incorporate this into the show in the very near future. I just couldn't do it today, but yeah, just let's see, where is it? I have it here somewhere. Oh, is it there? Is it there? There it is. Okay, so this is going to show a screen, but it's not about the screen. It's about the audio. I just haven't been able to get it incorporated just yet, but I will. I promise.
Okay.
Here we go. You didn't hear that? Oh, I forgot to put the audio. My bad.
No.
My bad. My bad. That was my fault. Let's try it again. I'll go with this and then share system audio. This should work. Let me know if this works. You should be able to hear it this time. I promise. I hope.
Good morning. This is the Eager Beaver Show.
Yes.
That was Mateo.
Yes.
So I'm gonna cut it into our entry clip.
Yes.
I'll cut
please.
it in. When I get a chance, I will throw that in there. I'll put it at the very beginning of the start, and there we go.
Thank you, Kit Mateo. Mwah. Yes, Kit Saucy, that is Mateo.
Yeah.
Yes, Mateo rules. Absolutely, Mateo rules. Yes, thank you, Kit Mohan, and thank you, Kit Sadeka, for making that happen. Oh, yes. Oh, we love, yeah, my heart. Yeah, me too. I melted.
Mm-hmm.
He's got such a sweet voice. I melted as soon as I heard it. It's just so much sunshine.
Well, let's hear it again.
I love
let's
that.
hear it again, right? Because it's so cute. It's adorable.
Yes,
let's hear it
please.
again. Let's hear it again. We got to hear it again because, come on. I mean, like, really? This is just, listen to this. This is how it'll start from here on out. I'm going to get it cut in. So tomorrow morning, the show will start with this. When it works. There we go. All right, here we are.
Good morning. This is the Eager Beaver Show.
That's so cute.
I love it. Thank you. Yeah, Kid Jen goes again. It's the same thing. I know. When I got it and I heard it, I think I listened to it to like 50 times on the loop, just over and over again. It just makes me so happy. Oh, all right, Mr. Grizzly. For the Beaver Lodge, this is your Eager Beaver saying, until next time, dear kids, it could be a tough world out there. So be kind to and gentle with yourself. And if you're down, just come back to the end of this episode and then just listen to Mateo.
Put it
and then
on
you'll
loop.
be happy.
Just put it on loop.
Okay, Mr. Grizzly, your words of wisdom, please.
Yes, and drink your coffee, take your vitamins, and perhaps some Benadryl if you need it, because this is going to be one of those days where the allergies are just going to kick your butt if you're like me. So do your best to get through it.
And then put it on a loop. Mr. Grizzly, roll them credits, please. Oh, Mateo. You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and The Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. There you go. I was scrolling some of the comments, and Miss Hideka sent something in saying, "I'll have you know that as I'm coming down the stairs from my shower, sweet little Mateo exclaims, 'The Eager Beaver show is on!'"
Oh, that's adorable.
And then we have Kitlinda M that says, "Every damn day with this cat as soon as she hears Douglas's voice. I do not know what the cat does. You have to let us know, Kitlinda, and if the cat's doing something like really interesting, get some video. Let's see it. I want to know."
Yes.
Oh man. Okay. All right, kids. Have a great day.